So I'm making this video right now because I know I'm going to forget about it tomorrow, but I'm making the video tonight. It's going to be not that long as you think it is, but I really need to get it off my chest. So this and this. Now I know it's not the bucket that I wanted like everybody else. We don't have an AMC here in Toledo, Ohio, unfortunately. Toledo needs to fix that. We have Cinemark. But you know what? Despite that, I got to go technically on a date to see this movie. Not going to give you the details about that part. You already seen the photos. But I'm going to be talking about my experience with this movie without actually dropping spoilers. So if you think you're going to expect to see spoilers, even from someone like me who likes the slip of the tongue, I'm going to do my best to keep my jaw ironed shut about it. I'm so glad this movie exists. I'm so glad. I remember there was an interview Hugh Jackman did, and I think it was either Fandango or for another press junket, for the press junket. And Hugh said, "This is the most fun I've had in playing a Wolverine in any movie I've done over the years." He actually said that. I wish I had a clip to show, but it's existent. Look it up on YouTube. He stated that this is the most fun I've had. You can tell in this movie how much fun he had. I think Ryan did a good service with this, because in the junkets over the last few weeks, he has stated, it's weird to come back on the sense of it's because of Hugh bringing Ryan into the fold of Marvel as Deadpool, and he was just inexperienced being in a big blockbuster superhero movie, and Hugh made him feel welcome. And now years later, within the 20 years I think it is since that movie came out, it's now Ryan almost paying Hugh back with doing this movie since the success of of Deadpool with it. And now he's like, I get to do that back with it. And that's what this movie is, exactly that energy with that movie. That's exactly what it is. And then, as we all know, this is the first time a movie has made it very clear on the fact that it's transitioning from a Marvel production with 20th Century Fox to a Marvel Studios film. But I love that they give their tribute to it with certain movies. I won't specifically specify what, but let's just say they tie in with the cameos. That's all I will adjust on that. Story-wise, so good. So damn good. And I'm pretty sure also you've seen on the internet people saying, like, they spoiled so much with the, Daphne King's X-23. They spoiled that. Oh, no. Daphne is the tip of the iceberg of cameos and appearances in this movie. You would not believe that. Like, I am shocked on the fact of what they were able to pull off for this movie, because some of the things and that happens in this movie, I said to myself, like, how many zeros on that check that Ryan had to cash to get this to happen? How many friends that Ryan is cool with to make this happen? With the people that's on here, the small things and the details and and quotes and stuff. Oh my Lord, have mercy. One of the cameos is somebody you should have expected that's in this movie. And then there are a few cameos you did not expect in this movie. And they're not just one-off sense. They have a purpose. That's what's also great about this. The cameos and the people who are in this all have a purpose. That's what I love about this movie of it. My only qualm is the post-credits. While it was hilarious, would have loved something that would have nodded to, let's just say, usually post-credits help go to the future of what's next after that movie. That doesn't happen in this post-credits, but it's still hilarious of the post-credits. So that's my only takeaway situation about it, because now I'm wanting more from this, and we don't know what's next. We don't. But it does wrap itself in a nice little bow to some extent of it, but it just, to some point, you're just like, well, what happened next? There was a cameo, I will say. I also want to say that there was a cameo in this that I was expecting to be in here that did not happen, and I would have loved that for it to happen. But I don't want to get into that because you would understand once you see the movie. So, and as much as I know, Sean Levy has a history with working with Ryan and with Hugh over the years, I was still skeptical about his directing towards in this movie, and that misconception is completely erased with this movie. It's no different from what he did with this movie different than what the last two directors for the first and the second Deadpool movie did. It's not. This is a clean, crisp situation with him directing. He right in, and I can understand why. Like, when you have that one director and you work with a certain person and you've worked with them over the years, in the sense of it, it makes sense, because Sean Ryan had done it with a threefold before this movie, with new Free Guy and the Adam Project. But you understand. There's so much emotion in this movie that comes from obviously Ryan, which you should not expect, because most cases in the movie that does happen to that to some extent with the first and the second one, but there's a lot more in this one than those two. A lot more. But oh my God, Hugh, like, if there was any reason why you second guessed yourself when since this promo, he's been saying for the longest that after he did Logan, he's done with playing this character for 14 years. He went to see, within that same week, he went to see Deadpool 1. He's like, well, shit, there's still so much I could do with this character. And he's also put in the two of the movies he mentioned, two references that fit so well with it. One of them being Plane, Trains, and Automobiles. And if you have not seen that movie with John Candy and Steve Martin, that is exactly how this movie is in the sense of it. So you already have a hype up of what it is. That is exactly what it is. And then there's a moment in this movie where, holy shit, it actually happened. If you think Hugh's costume was awesome, there's something else in this movie that happens, or you see, that is, oh my freaking God, it's so good. It's been a minute. The last Marvel movie I saw, I think, was Wakanda Forever. And I was happy and excited for that one, but I was more in tune to see it with my mom. But this movie had me up. Like, you know that phrase of like, it gets you out of your seat? No, I was literally out of my seat. Like, with my date with me, I'm standing up, just screaming, clapping, like I looked like Shia LaBeouf in the music video. Like, that's how happy I was when I saw this moment happen in the movie. So it's so good. It's so good. Don't be discouraged by these cynical cinema critics out there who are basically saying lacking bullshit. Don't listen to these critics in these big publishers press who are saying that this movie is just not worth of it and it's a complete dud. Do not listen to these critics. Remember, folks, when it comes to superhero movies and shows, critics have the tendency to dwindle it down because it's not cinematic to them. It's not a Scorsese film. It's not a Francis Ford Coppola movie. It's not a blockbuster, dramatic time sense of movie like those. Don't look at it like that. If you truly love the lore of comics and comic books with this movie, they do their justice of it. There's a photo that Ryan posted that has him with Hugh and 4 writers, including Gail Simone from Marvel, who has worked in Marvel. That is a hint to tell you how much they put in detail for this movie. This is truly that love letter in the comics of it. Never have I ever thought that a movie from Marvel, there are a lot of good Marvel movies over the years that we have known that have paid somewhat contribution to the comics. Never have I thought a movie that would do that even better with this one than this one. I can honestly say that now. So, if you have not seen this movie and you at least have the spare change to go see it later now, after this week, do yourself a service of it. At one point after I saw Spider-Verse and Wakanda Forever, and the Batman, I had said to myself, I'm taking a break from movies, superhero movies. And I'm so glad I reneged that, because this one I needed to see. This one I needed to see. My only disappointment now is when the ride is over, you want to ride it again. So, yeah. As for the popcorn bucket, well, I have this one and I'm satisfied a little bit to it. The one that everyone wants, the infamous one that is only at AMC, AMC or the theaters are the only ones that have it. I do have a friend of mine that's going to hook me up with one, so I will be getting one very soon. But yeah, amidst that, if you have not seen the movie and you are wondering any doubts, yeah, absolutely see this movie. Like, I am no movie guy, I am no movie critic, but Jesus Christ, like, and this is coming from me, a DC fan. I cannot stress this enough. As much as I love certain characters in the Marvel world and in comics and media, I am still, by standards, a DC guy, and I'm telling you to see this movie. So take that for what it is. But to Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, bravo, gentlemen! You have done a service for all of us Marvel fans out there, even the smaller ones like me.